Hey guys, it's me, Nez. I was thinking about the story of Job, and it's very interesting. Sometimes people pray, I don't want to go through trials like Job, but in our own experiences, people have gone through a lot, maybe comparable, maybe less, maybe more. So I think the perspective is not I don't want to go through what he went through, but to kind of grab the lessons of what are, what is God trying to show us, and honestly, let's go to where the discourse between Satan and the Lord. So, and the Lord, where it says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. You know how Satan, he goes, he roams about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he would devour. So he's about this earth, doing his thing. And the Lord, he says unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? Like, have you seen him? Have you considered him? You know, I I felt like it was kind of like an invitation to kind of boast about his son. You know how we're believers and we're children of God, like to boast. Oh, look at my child here. And he said, I have considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear God for naught? So let me just go through another translation to kind of give more understanding. Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for no reason? He says, has not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. So you've blessed, you've put you protected him, you surrounded him, his house, him, on every side. You've blessed all that he's put his hands to, and his possessions have increased. It's like he's saying to God, well, yes, he fears you. Yes, he serves you. Yes, he loves you because of all that you give him. And then so he says, but put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. So pretty much take away all that, and he will curse you. So that's what Satan believes, right? Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So he'll curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So pretty much saying, okay, all that you can touch, right? Just don't stretch out your hand against him. Like, don't kill him, right? Don't take his life. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord, and there was a day when his sons and his daughters. So I'm not going to read the whole story because you guys know it. So pretty much he lost his kids all in one day, all his possessions in one day. The servants were coming back to back. Job, this happened. Job, this happened. This happened before our very eyes. And then after all that, Job arose and rent his mantle, like ripped his clothes, and shaved his head and fell upon the ground and worshipped. So he tore his robe, shaved his head, fell on the ground, and worshipped. Do you see that response? That is crazy news. And his response is, I will worship God. He says, and said, naked come out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this, Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. So he did not sin or charge God with wrong. He didn't blame God. He didn't. Even his wife said, let's see. Yeah, there was a day when some came from the same. Okay, we did read that. Oh, okay, so Satan comes again before the presence of the Lord, and God asks, "So where are you coming from? Going to and fro from the earth. I'm walking upon it, walking it up and down in it." And the Lord said unto Satan, "Hast thou considered my servant Job? There's none like him in the earth, and perfect and an upright man, one that feared God," and all that he said before. And Satan answered, "Well, skin for skin, yeah. All that man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thy hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face." And the Lord said unto Satan, "Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life." Okay, so at first he said, don't touch him, like don't attack his health. And then, okay, you can attack his health, touch his health, but don't take his life. And so went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with a sore boils from the sole of his feet unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down amongst the ashes. So pretty much he got sores from the crown of his head to his feet, the soles of his feet. And he was trying to scrape himself with broken pottery. And here comes his wife. "Does thou still retain thy integrity? Curse God and die." Get some relief. Blame God, curse God, and just give up the ghost. And then how did Job respond? But he said unto her, "Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What, shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips." So wife says, "Curse God and die," and Job responds, "You speak foolishly. As one of the foolish women would speak. Shall we receive good from God, and shall we not receive evil?" So through all this, his friends come, and they give him horrible advice, horrible counsel, and to the point where Job is, I think in chapter 30, well, I wouldn't say he starts to question. Well, he kind of starts to question, not to curse God, but kind of like, why am I in this day? He even curses the day he was born. He's like, well, why was I even born? Why am I going through this? And that is human. That is perfectly okay. Job is not Superman. Job is not a super person, a superhuman who can take all these hits. I mean, how he took it is so commendable, but he is human after all. And God responds to his queries because he's been questioning. Sometimes you feel when you're going through some trials, "God, where are you? God, I don't hear you. God, what are you doing about this? God, do you not see? God, 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 God." Children, "Dad, Dad, 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 Dad," And the Lord answers Job out of the whirlwind. This is in chapter 38. And he says some magnificent, awesome things. The Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, "Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where wast thou when I laid the foundation of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if you know it? So pretty much, were you there when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened, right? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy, and all the or who shut up the sea with doors when it brake forth, or as if it had issued out of the womb. So who shut in the sea with doors when it burst out from the womb? When I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and break up for it my decreed place, so prescribed limits for it and set bars and doors, and said, hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, and here shall thou proud wave stay. Kind of like containing the oceans, containing the seas in their boundaries. Were you there? Did you do that? Do you know how to do that? So it goes on and on. What God says He can do, what He has done, and this is really proclaiming like His majesty, His might. And honestly, that Job, it stopped his mouth. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna shut up. I don't know what I'm saying. I speak about things that I know not of. Right? And in the end, God blessed him like a double portion of what he had before. God, Job was questioning. Well, his friends were trying to question. Okay, God, do I still trust you? Question your goodness. These things that happen, like, God, you're still good, right? You're still here. You're still present. And the answer is yes, of course. Yes, of course. There's a Psalm 23. Like when you're going through things, it's like you come to the realization that, you know what, through it all, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And even 24:1, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein, for he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Bottom line, God is good all the time. He is. Even when things seem to not go the way you want them to go, or you don't understand what's happening around you, like this is a whirlwind. This is craziness. Sickness, things, pestilence, things that the world is ridden with. God is still good in the midst of that. Evil will still persist right now. God, but God is still reigning in our hearts. God is still the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He is who he is no matter what. This gives us perspective, like Job's account gives us perspective on, what the devil can be doing in the life of a believer. There are some seasons where it's like, okay, where is this light at the end of this tunnel? When are we going to reach it? But it's comforting to know that there is a light. there is light at the end. God is our hope, because hope deferred makes one sick. But He is the hope of our salvation. He is our salvation. He is what keeps us alive, really. We can depend on Him. We can trust Him no matter what. And just like the psalmist, David's psalm, where, you are my shepherd. I know you're going to take care of me. I know you are leading me. I know that I have an expected end, that you are for me and not against me, that you have a hope in a future for me that's of good and not of evil. You don't wish evil for me. God, why would He? We are His kids. And even towards the world, yes, the world will be is judged. But for His love was poured out. He so loved the world that He died for humanity. So his love abounds. And He wants us to, you can take it to the bank, you can stamp it, seal it, that He is good forevermore, that His goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life. I think that verse, at the end of, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. All the days of our life, He's good. He's merciful. His grace abounds. That's something that, because I know we go through things, but always remember that God is good. No matter what the devil wants you to, because he wanted Job to curse God. The devil knows that God is good. I mean, he was living in heaven for, before he fell, he wasn't there for eternity past, right? He knows. So if he knows and he wants to trick you to think that it's whole deception. He's a deceiver. So God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Don't forget that. All right? All right, love you. Bye.